Hello, welcome to Early Late Night, the show that brings you the greatest Australian eSports gaming news. I be your announcer for this evening. Master Merchant has requested I be most respectful to him. Please stand up and clap your hands for the one, the only, Ciaran Merchant. Bloody hell, welcome, hello, it's bloody Friday! It is Friday, everybody. We are here live on the Explosion Network with Early Late Nights. I am your host, Ciaran Merchant. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. I hope you had a fantastic week. My week's been pretty good. It's gone by super quick, and here we are right now to talk all things gaming and esports. On the show tonight, we're going to be discussing Nintendo's online service, PlayStation Classic that was just announced, as well as Red Dead Online. And then, later in the show, you'll be seeing a preview of the premiere of the interview I did with Team Australia and former Darksided Overwatch player, Punk. I'm really excited. I had a lot of fun talking to Punk, so hopefully you will enjoy the very start of it. We're going to watch probably the first 10 minutes of the show, and then it'll be live at 7 o'clock for you to watch the whole interview as we talk about a whole bunch of things. But I'm really getting my head up with that one. Devil May Cry. I'm a big Devil May Cry fan. I really enjoyed the reboot. It's interesting now that they're doing Devil May Cry 5 with the big change to it all. Or is it the new Devil May Cry? It might be 4, and I might have my wires crossed again, but that's fine. It's understandable. But there was news released today that there's going to be the Mega Man Buster as a weapon in the game. Oh God! Sure. Whatever, just throw whatever you want into that game. Just make it bizarre and quirky and put more Dante in it this time. I really enjoyed the reboot. This looks like it's going back to its roots, so we'll see how it develops and where it goes, but I really hope there's a bunch more Dante because he's such a fun character to play, and they've already had problems with the band. They'd selected some music from a band whose frontman is in quite disgrace at the moment, so keep an eye out for all things Devil May Cry, especially here on Explosion Network. I'm sure one of us is going to be playing it through, but I'm super excited for it. As well as Twitch. Twitch is where we are right now. If you're watching live, you're on Twitch. I don't know how you got here, but you got here somehow. But Twitch is a global phenomenon, really, in gaming and watching games and streamers and enabling more and more people to get content out that might not get a chance to make content previously. But, sadly, it is now among the whole concoction, collection of websites banned in China by its national firewall, which, it's interesting. I guess users, especially as of last month, Twitch was the third most popular free app in China. To now, for it to be completely banned for all of its users to use it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So that's a big loss for Twitch. I feel bad for any gamers in China who wish to partake. I'm sure there's ways around it. I'm sure they're going to work it out, but we will see exactly what's going on. And then also there was a new screenshot released of Ada Wong from Resident Evil 2 in the new Resident Evil 2 remake. She looks really good. Like, her model looks completely different. She's gone from that kind of silk red dress that she wore originally. She's now in a brown, almost like, the investigator's PI kind of coat. Big sunglasses, looks very professional, looks very secret agent, like James Bond-like. That I don't mind. I'm down with that. But it's interesting to see the more changes that are coming along with Resident Evil 2 in its remake, how they're revamping it and bringing the story up to a newer timeline with newer updated pieces, like there's no more typewriters, it's going to be computers, and the updates to that game, because that game's a personal favorite of mine, so I'm super excited. As well as everybody press F to pay respects. YouTube gaming is dead. That's right, YouTube has finally given up on its venture for its own gaming site to try and take on Twitch with. It is officially dead. There's going to be a new section on YouTube for gaming, but there's not going to be an individual site or community page. So, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how YouTube continues to go at failing to support its creators, especially those with, there's a whole bunch of creators at the moment that are not really enjoying their time, and they're not getting the chance to show exactly what they've got. They're not getting the chance to get the money they deserve for the work they're doing on YouTube. So hopefully this is the step in the right direction for YouTube to start giving back to its content creators, especially in the gaming forums, because apparently gaming isn't, it's not suitable. But let's not wait there. Let's dive right into the first story of the evening. Nintendo Online Service launched this week. And we know this has been coming. It's been very obvious that this has been coming. Nintendo has talked about this since the very start of the Switch's life cycle. But we have seen it's not that well put together. It's not that well done. Some people are calling it half-baked, which, I'm led to agree with, honestly. There's a lot of features that are included either free on Xbox or also part of PlayStation Plus are either not well done or poorly presented. So for now, it looks like it is somewhere along the lines of $20 a year for Nintendo's online service. But there's a bit of a sneaky move if you've got a bunch of friends and you want to get it a bit cheaper. Family Pass, $5 a year. You just get a family pass, you get up to 8 friends, works out to be $5 a year. You get 8 people on the one family pass, just, hook up with people. Maybe if you know Steve from accounting has it, you can work it out with Steve and get involved and get on Nintendo Online. With Nintendo Online service, you get access to cloud. It's $30 a year in Australia. Pardon me, Dylan has corrected me. That's why I have my technical assistant in chat at all times. Thank you, Dylan. But yeah, if you get it as part of the family bundle, it's only $5 a year for you, which is pretty fucking good. But as part of the Nintendo Online service, you get access to cloud saves, you get access to the special Nintendo Switch Online app, you get access to, as well as the whole Nintendo Classics range. So a lot like games as part of Xbox Games for Gold or PS Plus, you get access to a small library of games. About 20 games are currently released of SNES Classic games, and they involved your normal Mario games, they involve Dr. Mario, I believe there's one of the Zeldas on there. It's not that great. You only get access to those games while you are paying for the service. They don't become your games. You can't just download them for whatever you want. It's not. There's a few problems in my opinion with it. It seems like it's done the it's done the Nintendo way of doing things. When Nintendo goes to do something that is already done by another developer or another console manufacturer, it's like $7 each. Oh my god, I got told $5 when I did my research. Maybe I'm looking at American. Dylan, technical assistant, is earning his paycheck tonight, everybody. But when you look at it, it's really interesting to work out exactly how, you look at it, and Nintendo seem to do things that everybody else already does. They just do it pretty poorly. They do it half-assed. They don't fully acknowledge what they're trying to sell or what they're putting out. They don't they don't look at their competitors and go, what do they have? What should we have? Let's try and take their product and make it better. They just go, we'll make our own product from scratch, and we're not going to learn any of the lessons that the others have already learned. If this was Xbox or Sony, as the argument always is, Nintendo seems to have a get-out-of-free-jail card all the time. They have the whole process of the matter. Just people go, yeah, it's Nintendo. That's cool. Good on you, Nintendo. Way to go, Nintendo. It's not great. It's not a good way to be. I think if one of the other developers, as I've already mentioned, had made this, we would be pretty miffed. We would be pretty upset with it. So hopefully, I really hope that in the future of it, we can have we can get more value out of Nintendo Online service. As it is, it still requires the app if you want to do voice chat or group talking. You require it if you want to do online play. If you haven't updated your console yet, the update forces you to need online to play online games. You've got another week until that kicks in properly. A couple of people have had to manually force the update to happen to get access to it. I think for now I'm not too enthralled with it. Part of me is probably just going to end up until I need to play Mario against some friends, and then I'll probably end up buying it. But I'm not instantly like, I need to make sure my Nintendo has online service. I need to make sure of it. And it's the same way I feel about PlayStations half the time. And that's just because as an Xbox person growing up with Xbox 360, we've always had cloud saves. We've always had that access. I find it super weird that you need a paid service to get access to cloud saves. I think it should just be a basic need of console gaming nowadays. But, hey, it is how it is now. We've got to see. We'll ride it out. We'll see exactly where Nintendo go, what games they do add to the gaming collection, and how they work with fans to have it supported more. I'm interested to see what they do and if they can win us back, because even though I whinge and complain about Nintendo, their Switch is still a fantastic console. There's still good games on it. There's always good ports and good individual games coming onto the Switch. Online service might just be a hassle just for now, but hey, we'll see how that goes. Moving right along to Sony now. Cross the other, still in Japan, cross the other part of the court though. Sony, now they've done the opposite to what Nintendo have done. Sony have gone, I see what you've done there, Nintendo. I see what you've done over there with your SNES Mini and your NES Mini. We'll put out the PlayStation Classic, and that's exactly what they're doing. The PlayStation Classic is coming out, hopefully later this year, with 20 games being stored on it. There is already 5 games, including Ridge Racer, Final Fantasy VII, Tekken 3. I don't know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. So, looking by, you can pre-order this now. Australia is going to have it for $150. $150 for this, it's a seventh of the size of the original PlayStation, and you get the controllers with it. Part of me hopes they meme and they're like, not going to include memory card, fuck it. Not going to include memory card today, everybody. No memory cards. And we all cry. We all cry because, and that's one of the stories that I think I laugh at the most when hearing is back in the day, people bought PlayStations, they took it home, and then you'd end up having to go back to the shop to go buy a memory card because it didn't come included for some reason. But, with today's society, we'll probably bitch about that if that happens, so it's going to get a memory card. It's interesting that it seems like it is a money grab. Honestly, it seems like it's there for money, as with the SNES Mini was. But I'm interested to see if they follow Nintendo's marketing strategy for these. Because Nintendo, with the 2 minis, they were widely sought out after, but they were short-stocked. They were never flooded in the market. They never overpushed their limits with inventory. They just sold enough. They just sold enough for the show. They just sold enough for the actual the public to get their hands on it, people to talk about it, but then enough people to continue talking about it for months on end until secondary shipments came through. And I think that's an excellent strategy. That works really well for Nintendo. Now, are PlayStation going to follow this? Are PlayStation going to follow through with the smaller, more limited run of inventory, or are they just going to put out enough that if you want to go grab one and you don't need to pre-order it, you can just go get one? I'm interested to see the change here. I'm interested to see how they organize it and what they do to arrange it. We only know 5 of the 20 games so far. Honestly, I don't love maybe 3 of the 5 games. So at the minute, there's 2 games and I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. It's, Final Fantasy, but I can get that on my PC. I can get that on my PlayStation. Okay, sure. Tekken 3, it's probably not ported very well. It's probably not aged very well even, that's what I mean. The controllers are coming out with with no analog sticks, trying to be, the vintage and the nostalgia. We'll see where this goes. We'll see. Once again, it's like Nintendo Online. I can't call judgment on it until it happens, until we've fully seen the range of games that are coming with it, what's going to be options. I don't know. Part of me wishes that PlayStation would just kind of go down the same route as Xbox rather than with Nintendo, because Xbox have just said, Xbox Originals, everything's available that we're going to put out is going to be all available on the one console. You own the console, you just buy the games when you want them. I wish PlayStation did that more. They have just announced that you can now, through PlayStation Now, that isn't available in Australia, you can download PlayStation 3 games and PlayStation 2 games to your... No, I think it's PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 4 games. You can download those directly to your console now for offline play, but it's still not... I still think, even though Xbox has a weaker player base at the moment, their strategies for dealing with backwards compatibility and being able to play old games is much better. And I think PlayStation do need to take a look at that and just learn a little bit more from it. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how hard it is to get a PS Classic. I'll see. I'm not going to be getting one myself. I'm sure either Dylan or Ashley or Nick from the Explosion Network will be getting one, but we'll have to see when it comes out and see exactly what it's like. Also, no power adapter for the USB slot, for the USB cable. So you're either going to have to plug it into your PC, plug it into your Xbox, or plug it into your TV for power. Or you go buy an adapter for it, or go steal one of the 1,000 iPhone adapters you probably have. Hey, it is what it seems to be. Now, third story, before leading up into our interview for Premiere, Red Dead Online. Red Dead Online, Dylan's not getting a PS Classic, by the way, by the looks of it. I don't pay him enough. As my technical assistant, he doesn't get paid enough. We'll see how that goes. But Red Dead Online has just been announced by Rockstar Games. It's going to be coming out in beta in November for a later launch. That means at launch for Red Dead Redemption 2, it's not going to be online again. It's going to be pushed back. It's going to be delayed. They're doing it nice and early, though. It's not saying it's delayed. They're talking about it early. It's nice to see Rockstar has learned from their mistakes. It's learned from the past. If you remember GTA 5's launch 5 years ago, GTA 5 came out with a delayed GTA Online, and we went, oh well, we'll play GTA, that's fine. GTA Online came out, it was this half-baked, buggy piece of crap that nobody seemed to be able to play. And I tried to play it in the first week, gave up, never went back. 5 years later, GTA Online, as I've mentioned previously on the show in the recent episodes, is a mammoth. It's a beast now. It's a fantastic online service. So, Red Dead Online, will it be as good? Is it going to be the same experience? And many people have said, well, the developers have already said, this is a large experience that players have already taken part of. This is a large experience that is separate from the story of the game, so we're going to release it separately. We're going to let you play the game, and then we're going to bring out the online beta and say, let's make our own stories. They're trying to find a good balance between narrative and co-op missions, and I really enjoy that. I really like that. Red Dead Online provides a new challenge for Rockstar Games because it's not going to have the same amount of customization as GTA 5 with the items they release. I'm interested to see if they're going to remove buying currency that they have in GTA 5. Is currency going to be buyable with real money in Red Dead Online? Most likely, because I think Rockstar would be a bit silly to look away from that money they've been earning, but what is going to be purchasable with that money? Are we going to be buying properties again? Are we going to need the money? I'm going to sneeze. Terrible. First sneeze in 51 episodes of Early Late Nights, and I sneeze a lot sometimes. Ow, that hurt my head. Now, in the game, we're going to be seeing more interaction. Rockstar have had enough problems with GTA Online that they now know how to kind of deal with it, how to look into it, how to exactly see how it's been set up. What's going to happen? What are we doing, everybody? Like, what are we going to be seeing from this online service? And I hope it's going to be good. I hope that it's going to be the online service that it lives up to. Are we going to get different colored horses? Are we going to get special horse armor? Who knows? We'll wait and see. But that's enough news. That's enough gaming news. Exactly. We're going to move on to esports with the main event for this evening, if you will. I recently sat down in an interview with the Off-Tank and player for both Team Australia and formerly of Darksided, Punk. We had a good chat in featuring Overwatch contenders, Overwatch World Cup, talking about his career in esports and how his growth happened. I'm gonna be showing you the first 10 minutes now as part of the show. If you really enjoy the interview and you want to see the rest of it as we talk more about World Cup and his experiences, go to explosionnetwork.com/explosionnetwork.com. It'll be on there in the articles to watch the full interview with Punk. It goes live at 7 o'clock after this finishes. So I'm really excited. I'll talk to you about it after. I'll give you the whole rundown, but take it away, Ciaran. Welcome to the Explosion Network. I am Ciaran, host of Early Late Nights, and I'm joined for our very first esports interview by the one and only off-tank player from Team Australia and formerly of Darksided, Punk. How are you, Punk?
I'm doing all right. I just got home from school today, so I'm ready to have a chat.
Definitely awesome. Glad you could stop by, and thank you very much for giving me your time. I'd love to start with, could you give, just for our audience, just in case they don't know who you are, just a bit of a breakdown of who you are, what do you play in Overwatch, and a bit of an icebreaker, who is your least favorite character in Overwatch?
All right. Well, I'm Punk. I played for Team Australia off tank. Pretty much only D.Va, because that's like the only good off tank right now. So I'm kind of locked on her. Love to play a bit of Zarya every now and then, but my least favorite hero is probably Brig, just because it's a no fun hero. So
no, I'm a support main myself, so there's a lot of times where a Brig just runs at you, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, awesome, let's get smacked for a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's good to hear. We'll dive into a lot of that, especially the D.Va talk a bit later. But first, how did you get into professional gaming? Like, what was there a moment for you where you realized that, oh crap, okay, I can do this for a living, or I can do this a bit more seriously?
Well, I started watching like CS. I started playing CS like with just with my friends, and like we were all really bad. And so we just started playing a lot, and then I got, like, I guess just better than like all my other friends, and then I had to stop playing with them because it wouldn't, like, the game wouldn't let me because I was too high a rank or something. So yeah, I just kept playing and like got decently good somewhat, and then started watching that esports scene, like all the majors, and that's what really made me like think, wow, this is pretty cool. So like I really want to do this like as something in the future. So I started to so I finished CounterStrike. Wasn't that great at it, like not good enough to be top tier. So Overwatch is coming out. Also, again, played with my friends, wasn't very good, and then just got better than them, and then joined a team.
I bet your friends had a moment of, thank God we got a new game, we can play with him, and crap, he's already way too high for us. This
pretty much.
So it's interesting to know, because especially one of the things I reached around to different communities that to ask any questions, and one of the biggest questions that I got, and I got it from a user named Pearso, was what games did you play beforehand, before Overwatch, and of course Counter-Strike you've just mentioned. How was the transition from, say, Counter-Strike to Overwatch? Were you a big first-person shooter fan? Did you have any other big genres of multiplayer games that you played beforehand that you think lended yourself to excelling at Overwatch a bit quicker?
So I've never really played any MOBAs at all, ever. That's also what I get asked sometimes.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess I played Halo on like the Xbox, and so I've just been a huge fan of first-person shooters like forever. And that's like what I've been good at. So played Counter-Strike, and the transition from that to Overwatch was like, all the aim was like pretty much there. It's just, it's about that, like that MOBA aspect of like metas and like those type of strategies where I like had to learn it all from scratch because I've never played a game like that before.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was probably the biggest learning curve for me in Overwatch starting off.
Yeah, definitely. And I came from the opposite end of it. I came from Dota 2. I think it's a good thing not to come from Dota 2 or MOBAs because they're terrible places. But I guess with that transition over, you've picked up with your time, you've picked up the MOBA aspect and the strategy. the meta in CounterStrike isn't as nearly complex as MOBAs, I guess. I guess it's really down to positioning and different playstyles and strategies, as well as whatever guns get nerfed. But so one of the big things about that I saw at the Melbourne Esports Open for the Overwatch contenders that you took part in was the host really featured your family being present at the arena and really involved in the day throughout it, each interview. I think you got asked one or two questions both times. How did you broach the question with your family to say, hey, this is something I seriously want to do? Because it's not a conversation that many people have had to have yet, really, in the scheme of things of the world. So, how did that go down?
So that's really only happened like recently because I'm not uh, I'm not that old and I haven't committed like a lot of my time, I guess, or a lot of my uh like effort into this like pursuing this yet. So I've just been kind of doing it on the side and they've been kind of like, "Oh yeah, you can do that. That's fine." But like you still got to do school.
Yep, definitely.
So I've only really had that like talk, I guess, of I really want to take this somewhere pretty recently, like almost just at the World Cup where
Yep.
played on the world stage and like yes, that was just really that was a big thing for me. And so I kind of yeah, I'm gonna start talking to them about that and like have been recently.
And that's crazy, especially for me to hear, and I'm sure many people listening to hear that you haven't like fully dedicated yourself yet to this, that you've got to the level you've attained so far by, still having to go to school and still having to keep up with the social life. And that's really impressive to see, to even think where your potential to go, where if you were to have a life where you could dedicate yourself to more time in Overwatch and more time progressing as a professional player. And I think that lends itself to one of the other another user, Naya said, uh, "What's is it difficult balancing school and training and social lives in your current lifestyle?"
Um, I think to an extent it is like although my time is pretty like full on, there's no like usual spare time that I have. It's like go to school, do homework if I have some when I get home, or like training on some days, and then scrim for like 4 hours.
Yeah,
So, and then go to bed. So it's like it fits pretty much perfectly in like the balance of things. So I don't have to like miss out on something or like cut training or something. Like it all just fits, I guess. So if anything was to happen more, then I guess something would have to go. But uh, yeah, at the moment it's just like it's really full on. Like
yeah.
I don't have much relaxing or off time besides the weekends, pretty much.
Yeah, no, definitely. That sounds intense. I wouldn't even imagine. And especially speaking to people today about your position, your role. A lot of people who I guess are the older generation of gaming now couldn't imagine the amount of effort and time that players like yourself have to put in to be able to balance school. And I said to somebody today, imagine having to go and tell your school or tell somebody, hey, I'm going to Thailand to go play in this game in the World Cup of this game to represent Australia. And one of these users mentioned, oh, I had difficulty trying to convince my school I won a competition about short stories. So
Mm.
there's definitely been a large change in the way esports is seen and the way esports is interacting with lives now. So it's really good to see you're finding somewhat of a balance here, and hopefully it doesn't get too much
Yeah.
harder for you.
Yeah, I hope so. I've only got one more year left of
Yep.
school, so we'll see.
Yeah, no, definitely. So Overwatch Contenders Finals. So I was lucky enough, as I said, to attend the final, and I think you may have almost single-handedly, along with the rest of your team on Darksided, provided one of the best moments of Overwatch I've ever seen live. If you haven't watched this, go check it out. It's the last minute of Rialto in their semi-final game with the D.Va bomb that pretty much saved your finals hopes.
Mm.
Um, that that was truly amazing, and it was a really fun moment. How do you, looking back at the contenders finals, do you look back on them fondly? What did you think of the event as a whole?
I think that was like the best event that I've ever been to, pretty much, just because It was in this massive stadium. The crowd was like, it was really electric, and the atmosphere was just insane while we were playing there. And yeah, I guess both Order and Darksided at the time provided pretty much the best Overwatch game that I've been a part of.
Yep.
And it was just amazing to play on the stage. And I'm just glad that we got past that game and won it, because last time we got knocked out in the semis in season 1, and that was like pretty
exact same
devastating.
position.
That was also very close.
Yep.
So yeah, to get past that, I knew we also had some team issues like just before the event, and so I wasn't going into it expecting to like smash it out and like have a really, really good chance at the finals. I just knew we're going to give it our best shot and we'll see how we go. So
yeah,
that was a really
definitely.
good result for that.
And you and the rest of the guys in Darksided, I think you definitely made yourselves fan favorites for the event. I think going into the grand final against the dominant Sydney Drop Bears, the crowd was behind you guys. The crowd really, most people love a good underdog story, but I think with how you played throughout that semi-final really won a lot of people over. I had somebody I'd actually taken to the event, had bought some merch beforehand, and somehow he'd ended up with an Order hoodie, but the Darksided jersey, and he kept flicking between the two throughout the match. So, you know, dedication at its finest there.
Yeah.
My mic was muted for like all of that section. You heard nothing. I yelled at you. I said, that's all you're getting early late night. That's all you're getting here on the show. It's all you're going to have. It's all you're going to see. But if you want to go see more, it is live right now. ExplosionNetwork.com. Go check out our articles. The whole interview's there. It's half an hour of off-tanky goodness and great, you know, all over Ciaran-ness, because it's me. You get to look at me for another half an hour. If you're telling me Ciaran, thank you very much. If you want to check out more of us, we're on Twitter at ExplosionPod. Follow me on Twitter at your boy Ringo. Go see our website, ExplosionNetwork.com. YouTube.com/ExplosionNetwork for all our YouTube goodness. If you're watching the show here on the channel on Twitch, Twitch.tv/ExplosionNetwork. Give us a follow. If you can't make it live for the show ever, every Tuesday and Friday, we will be also putting the video up as a podcast and a VOD 24 hours later on the Wednesday and the Saturday at 7 p.m. Go check them out. If you listen to us on podcast, please give us a review, 5 stars, whatever you need to do. Support us, because we love seeing your support. Now, if you say to me, Ciaran, it's Friday night, but I got nothing better to do because my footy team got knocked out of the AFL, I've got the news for you. Stay tuned, 8 o'clock tonight. I will be back alongside Ashley Hobley. We'll be doing a review discussion on the recent Spider-Man game, talking about the game with full spoilers, diving into its story and its costumes and its collectibles and everything. And if you're saying, Ciaran, that's not enough, okay, at 11 o'clock tonight, Dylan Blight is going to be playing Forza Horizon 4. Thanks to Xbox Australia, we got a copy of it, and Dylan's been putting in his time into the game. You get to see and ask as many questions as you like while he plays. Check it out then. It'll be fantastic to see. Or NRL. Ashley said or NRL. That's fine. Whatever. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope you have a great weekend. I'll see you next Tuesday. As always, have a fantastic night. I'll see you later.